Welcome to Conversations. I'm Robin Fahr.
And I'm Shawn, and we've got Ed Baxter with us today.
You guys, we were talking about Ed just a few weeks ago with Ed and Eric Johnson from Alive magazine because they had a secret they couldn't tell.
I know, and they're back. He's back today.
He's back. All right,
Tell
Ed
us
Baxter,
all about the secret
welcome
and his
to
new endeavors.
Conversations.
Well, we promised. You guys are very good because
we nag.
Yes, and you back me. Well, no, you back me into a
I'm not going to let him get away with dropping a teaser and walking away from us.
That's it. Right.
Work that way. You gotta spill the beans.
We have something big, but I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No, I did promise you that you guys would be the first to know,
Okay.
and so here we are. Because Eric and I were working on a project, which has come to fruition. We formed an LLC, and we are just announcing the birth of something called the Talk Pod, thetalkpod.com. And it's actually, it went up for our eyes of our people, of our contributors, and all of a sudden we started getting hits from all over the place, and we were going to take it back down for maintenance, and we went, no, we can't do this.
Well, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, right.
Don't you drop a little nugget, and then they want more.
In on it. Well, let's explain to the viewers then what the Talk Pod is. It's because when I went on to the site, boy, there were all these familiar faces, some of the old guard from KGO, KSFO. What's going on at the Talk Pod?
Oh, well, that's it. You hit it. That's exactly what we're doing. KGO radio, KSFO radio, just absolutely institutions in spoken word, which is a format that is kind of going away for a lot of different reasons. Corporations, costs, all of those kinds of things. There are a lot of people out there who wanted to express themselves, who did that on a daily basis on radio, who just feel kind of, they hear stuff and they get so angry at the radio or television or newspaper or whatever. And I've been doing commentaries myself just on my website just because I wanted to for 2.5 years now, 3 years, kind of as an outlet, almost my hobby. And I thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool to pool these people? And so I thought maybe I'd bring a couple onto my website or something. And I went, they jumped.
Yeah.
I mean, you have people. What I started with was my old partner, Rosie Allen.
Oh, and you guys together, that is so great. Yeah.
We're back together, and we're actually doing exactly what we wanted to do. When we were at KGO, we did the afternoon news. Yeah. But it was Ed and Rosie. They brought us in to be personalities. You know how all this works.
We know how that is.
And then they go,
buddy.
Well, she's got the personality. I've got the I don't know what, but I bring something to the table, I've been told.
You look good.
But they would say to us, we want you to be personalities. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, yes, yes, yes. And we'd go into the boss's office, Rosie and I would, and they would say, remember, and I mean, probably 10 different news directors. Remember, you guys are doing a newscast.
Oh, and then you're going, but wait, the personality, what?
Yeah, but you had a newscast with a little bit of a flair to it. I mean, there was some entertainment involved there, and that comes from your personality and Rosie's personality, and not just individually, but the team.
Yeah, you
guys
just
made
anchors. You weren't just
anybody
anchors.
can read the news, but you told the story. You added
now,
color to the news.
But now, take that up a few notches to where we can really, within the bounds, and this is what I've told all of our contributors, within the bounds of good taste and not doing porn and not libeling people and not being unfair and stupid just for shock value.
Oh, yeah, no.
Do whatever you want to do.
Yes.
And I have 14 people that have agreed to do this now, and in one form or another, and it's all up on the Talk Pod. And the 14 people have been feeding. We've been gathering information right now. There are about 100 pieces of content up there, all produced and ready to go. But when they would say to me, well, Bill Wattenberg. Said, well, Ed.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. Genius Bill Wattenberg.
He said, you mean I can say anything I want? And I said, yeah. Now, Bill, I thought always did say anything he wanted.
I did kind of too.
But
he was censored a little bit.
He was
still.
restricted, sure.
Well, all of us live within the box. And what we've done is take the box away.
Take the box away without being ridiculous and just for ridiculous. No gratuitous, but just let's not be restricted. All right, would you just name the 14 names, please? The finalists are. These are the people that are on the Talk Pod.
Got some big names here,
too.
Yeah,
let's hear them.
And I excuse me for looking down and reading. reading.
you don't want to forget anybody. It's
no,
like the
if I
Academy.
forget anybody, then
Yeah.
they'll come and get me with
We'll
their
be down to
with
13
their
names.
posses. Yeah. So I already mentioned Rosie and me. Ed and Rosie are back together. Stan Burford.
Oh, yes,
Oh, yeah.
Stan.
Who used to do traffic for us, but has the most incredible mind. He's already solved the water problems. He's already talked about how Los Angeles is blowing it and building flood control channels when it needs to be channeling this water into reservoirs so we can save it in the wet years we have it. And he went through it, and I went, wow, he's always thought of things in different ways. So he's out of the traffic box. I'm sure he'll do some transportation stuff. He's out of the traffic box. He's doing whatever he wants to do.
Good.
And so Stan is so
wonderful.
cool. We have Joe Starkey.
Oh, I remember
who's
Joe,
Joe's
yeah.
institution in sports in the Bay Area.
Absolutely.
We are teaming him individually. He just explained why soccer isn't making it in the United States after
Oh,
the
good.
World
See,
Cup.
now that is something I want to know. You
Yeah.
just had the World Cup, and we're thinking, what happened to us? Although we did pretty good.
And we did. And he's teamed up with Ken Dito. They're doing a two-person kind of show. Ken Dito worked for a long time, worked on Giants broadcast, A's broadcast,
Yeah.
was on the Sports Leader, was on KMBR, was on KGO for a long time, so Ken is doing that. Steve Kirk, Steve Wagner, and Dennis Willis are a group called Flick Nation.
Okay.
They're doing movie interviews. They just fed one with Rob Reiner.
Yeah, I actually heard that this morning on the
did you?
podcast. Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty cool, huh?
Very cool. I mean, Rob Reiner, we're talking about, royalty, Hollywood royalty.
Yeah.
Not
I
just
met
a
him
Joe
in the
Schmo.
elevator the other day, and I'm thinking, how do I know this guy? And he goes, hello, and I go, hello, and then I went, oh,
It's
hello,
Meathead.
Okay,
Meathead.
Exactly. Light bulb
We
went
had
off.
a great chat. He's terrific.
But these guys, even Dennis and Steve, who did the interview, said to me, these guys, when they realize where it's going, and it's going digital, it's going online.
Yes.
And this is the new wave.
Is the
It's the new medium.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
it's
it
a new
lives in
medium.
forever online.
It's not nothing's going away, but I mean, you guys are doing great here, and this is community. This is a new thing. You're giving a headache to the 3 network stations and everything
Sure
because
hope we are.
there's so many. Well, yeah, and they
Gives me a headache every day. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, take 2 aspirin.
No, but it sounds like you have a who's who of broadcasting royalty here from
who
the
else?
Bay Area.
Who
I
else
mean,
we got?
the
Well,
list
yeah,
is
I
open.
have to get to commercial in a moment, but let's get a
okay.
few more in.
Okay, Malou Nubla.
Oh, I love her. She's
who
so
actually-
beautiful. Gosh darn it.
yeah.
She's got a beautiful face. We need her on television.
Yeah, she's going to do Malou review.
Okay.
Well, we're working on a video package, but I can't talk about
Yeah,
it.
she was doing that on TV for a while as well, so Malou's
yeah.
a face that we'll all recognize.
Yes,
Yes,
and yeah, she did several different stations, and she's on now with Malou Review. She's going to do consumer stuff.
Good.
Barbara Simpson,
Barbara.
babe in the bunker.
Yes, yes.
Oh, what a woman! I've known her. I thought I knew her. Oh, she is a pip. She is. Oh, she's Barbara Simpson. I
Yeah.
mean, she's done stuff on illegal aliens. She says, I couldn't do this on the radio. Why can't I just call them, she's very conservative, why can't I call them illegal aliens? I'm going to call them on the Talk Pod anything that I want to call them, and nobody's going to say anything to me. They are illegal, and they are aliens by definition. I'm going, oh my, I'm listening, okay, fine.
But that's what you're talking about,
That's
isn't
it.
it? Do
That's
we
where
have
she can go.
we have to cut for a break? Will you
Sure.
stop right after Barbara Simpson? Put your finger right below Barbara Simpson because I want to hear the rest of these. This is just so awesome. We're talking to Ed Baxter, The Talk Pod,
This hurts.
www.thetalkpod.com. Shawn and I will be right back. Welcome back to Conversations with Robin and Shawn. We're talking to our friend Ed Baxter. He's got the new thetalkpod.com. You've got to check this out. Remember all the names of people you loved and you loved yelling at your radio? You can do it again on the TalkPod. We were talking about who you've got your finger
I have. It
perfectly
hurts.
placed.
Please
Yes, it
hurry.
hurts. Please let go. So we've gotten through so far maybe 7 names. Barbara Simpson was the last one. Who else do we have?
Well, I moved my finger now. Thanks, Robin.
Start over from the
Shawn,
top.
How do you deal with
I
this?
don't deal
you
with it,
told
I
me to
don't.
move my finger. I don't know. I think, okay, we talked about Barbara Simpson. Lloyd Lindsay Young.
Oh, remember the weather guy?
Yeah.
and his,
LLW.
LLY.
Hello, Pleasanton.
Yeah.
He, Lloyd, and it's very interesting because people will ask me the question.
How can he do weather on a talk pod, on the talk pod? Tell
Good
me. Okay.
question,
How'd I do?
Robin.
Yeah.
That's good for some. Yeah. Lloyd is doing generic stuff that he really likes to do.
Yeah, he was talking about the heat, I think, in his latest broadcast. He was talking about the heat and the hottest day it was, I think, in Death Valley. And,
Oh, I was going to ask you
Saudi
the question
Arabia
whether
and
you
Arizona.
remember. Okay, but here's the question.
Okay.
Okay, multiple choice. What was the temperature if Death Valley was the hottest place in the United States? You remember what the temperature was that he quoted?
Can we just try throw in
I'm
there?
going to guess. I think I remember the number 123.
And I want to say 130.
Bing, you want
Bing?
closer.
Oh, wow.
134.
Oh,
nice, Robin.
134,
Okay.
wow.
Woo!
Well
So,
done.
but he talks
Feel
about
cool right now.
probabilities of weather. Why do
Yeah.
weather forecasts say 28% chance of rain? Well, basically what he said is to cover their butts because they, you know, how can they be wrong? I mean, when you put
Yeah.
it on a percentage.
have an out, yeah.
Yeah. So he said weather forecasts do that because their managers want them to be right. So he talks about how people forecast the weather. He talks about El Nino. He talks about the jet stream. He talks about why we're in such a drought situation. Meteorological. He's a scientist.
Yeah, so we don't need to hear about the weather at the 8s. We can open our window and see what's going
Well,
on.
see
What
here-
we need to hear is in the morning, what does that mean, that 28%
Yeah. He
probability?
deciphers- he
makes,
explains
yeah,
a little
before
bit.
you leave the house, what is this going to
Yeah.
mean
You've
to
been
me?
hearing El Nino for all these years. The other day I had to look up what El Nino was again
Yeah.
because I've been hearing where it might be in an El Nino pattern, and I forgot what El Nino was. So
Yeah.
rather than looking it up,
And what
you
does
can
that mean?
explain to us.
Does it mean that we're going to get a lot of rain, not a lot of rain? Because El Nino can mean both.
Yeah, it's different in every season,
Yeah,
yeah.
he explains all of that stuff. Now, what he does on the radio now, he still works for Clear Channel.
Yeah.
And what he does is very important. People want to know what weather forecasts are. And you mentioned on the 8s, all of that stuff is really important. But this is just an add-on. And it gives him a chance to do what we want all our contributors to do seriously, is to really open up and talk about what they want to talk about. Everybody has their own passions, has their own things. And media, and God knows I worked in it for a lot of years and am still working
Still
in
in it.
This is just a new direction.
Yes.
It's the new stream. It's digital.
Yes.
It's when I say to them, well, let me go through my list so I don't forget. Elizabeth Kate. Now, she was not on KGO. She was on KSFO for a short time on an alternative kind of program that they did about a foodie program.
Yeah, and she did a wine thing recently, I think, right? About
Yes,
Tino?
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And she did, you've been clicking on the
I've
top
been
part,
listening.
haven't you?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's good content.
Elizabeth is just so broad. When I was introduced to her, I went, this is kind of we're getting the KGO gang, and then we're going to add some people, you know, as we go down the road, we're going to go live, we're going to do all of these things in Eric's and my grand scheme. But Elizabeth started talking to me. Well, you know, an Argentinian wine, the reason
Malbec.
it's the way it is. There you go. The reason it's the way it is, and you can tell the difference between that and a Canadian wine. I'm not a wine. I was going to say wino. I'm not a winey. I'm
Love that
a
Maybe
wine
wine a little bit,
but she started explaining this stuff, and she on a travel dialogue, and she said, if you travel through the mountains of Argentina, blah 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 blah, and I went, you're in.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yes,
it.
exactly.
You know,
We're
and
just
that's
having
such a
lunch.
big, those are hot button things nowadays because you have the Food Network, the Travel Channel, all these,
Oh,
outlets
yes.
for discussing these
Yeah,
things. And
exactly
she's
right.
our resident foodie here in house. You know,
Oh,
she's
wow, I'm
our
working
resident
on
wino, but she's all, people just eat that stuff up. Literally, I mean, they
yeah,
love it.
They
Yeah.
do. They do.
That was a bad
Let
thought.
me, if I may, just for a second, make sure I didn't forget
Yeah, that's
anybody.
right.
If
No,
I did,
yeah.
my God, I'm
No, you
sorry,
can't.
Talk Potters.
No.
Rosie Allen, Ed Baxter, Sam Burford, Candido, Elizabeth Kate, Steve Kirk, Malou Nubla, John Rothman, Barbara Simpson, Joe Starkey, Steve Wagner, Bill Wattenberg, Dennis Willis, Lloyd Lindsay Young. That's
Dennis
where
Willis,
we're
did we
beginning.
get to Dennis Willis?
I don't think so, but he just
Okay, Dennis is part of the Flick
Oh,
Nation.
he's part of the Flip
crew.
Oh, okay,
Nation.
he's
Okay,
part of the three.
perfect.
Got it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so good. What a lineup! And so people can go to the Pod Talk, the
Talk Pod.
the talkpod.com any time of the day. Find their
Mm-hmm.
favorite personality, click on, and there's new content. What, daily?
Mhm. Oh, absolutely, yeah, every day. Every day we're putting stuff up. And please, what I wanted to stress here is we're
Yeah.
in our infancy. I didn't want it to go live this quickly because there are things that I see that, well, why didn't we do this? Why didn't we do
Yeah.
that? Why didn't we do that? And I wanted to be perfect. And my
Yes.
partner, Eric, finally said to me, hey, idiot.
Yeah.
It's never going to be perfect. Just go with it and let's morph it.
That's
we're
it.
we're
That's
into the
it.
stream.
There's going to be
This
tweaks
is-
that you make all along, and you
Yes.
can get listener feedback, viewer
That's
feedback,
what we
as we
want.
get here all the time. And they're going to say, we'd rather see this, we'd rather see that. You know, and you're not going to please everybody all the time.
No.
But the thing to remember here is it's like a smorgasbord of Bay Area talent. And the nice thing is they're out of that constraint of the radio box or the
Yeah.
corporate box. So
Yeah.
and these are all geniuses. These are all great minds, as most people in the
Brilliant
radio
minds.
are. They didn't get there by mistake. And
Yeah.
now they have a little bit of creative license license to go out and do their own thing, add their genius with the freedom of saying what they want.
John Rothman has written a literary work that's been published in the Vatican papers. He's written a over 500-page book on how America would be different if Harold Stassen had been elected president. And you go, hey, right, John. And you listen to him and you go, wow. Over the weekend I had a chance to listen because I've been so busy producing. I'm not bleeding on you, but 14-hour days and just producing stuff. I had a chance to go back and listen to it, and I went, you know, and I know this is my baby, so I'm
so
I'm
it is
biased,
the cutest baby in the world, but
oh my God, these people, the thoughts, you know, so, but we want, what's really important for your people, because you have, you know, they're watching community television, and they're usually, those people are a little bit brighter. We want your suggestions, please, if you get there, and I don't mean this just as to go click in. We want to know what you want. Who do you want? You know,
all right.
if they want, you want Robin and Shawn, let us know.
Yeah.
Tell us what you want. We're gonna get there. We're gonna go live. I can't say anything.
That's for the
You'll have
next
to
show.
come back
All right,
and-
you just have to come. I
Well,
love
let's
the
get
way
some
he does that.
information and
Let's
tell
give
them-
some information.
Tell the viewers where they can find you.
Ed
Okay.
Baxter working on the Talk Pod, not working on. Absolutely, it's going on, and it'll be tweaked as it goes, but he's right. You got to get these things out there. What a lineup of people. The people you love to hear, you love to argue with, they're right there for you to do that. www.thetalkpod.com. No reason to miss the way it used to be, the good old days when you could yell at your radio, you can yell at your computer
Unfiltered,
now.
uncensored, just
Yeah.
raw and great.
Keep
great
us
stuff.
posted.
And the
This
new
is
wave,
so
yeah.
awesome, and thanks for letting
Oh,
us
thank
kind
you,
of
guys.
scoop it here. This is what happens.
Yeah, and
We
when
get the
things
good
change, you
stuff.
got to come back and make sure you let us know.
All right.
Perfect, thank
Great
you.
to see you, Ed. Really great to see you. And that'll do it for this edition of Conversations. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have.
If you did enjoy our show, please check us out at Facebook at facebook.com/tv30.org and let us know how much you like the show by clicking the like button.
Until next time, I'm Robin Fahr.
And I'm Shawn Alikian. Thanks for joining us.
Stay tuned now for He Said, She Said, coming up next on Tri-Valley TV.